Boy,
sorry.
David's getting old.
Look.
I got to tell you something. I didn't even know what time it was, and if they wouldn't have said Mickey, I wouldn't have known it was Thursday at 5:30.
It's just Mickey. We want to find him a nice place to live out his golden years. So right now, I keep telling him, while he's able to pick out the amenities, he should. If not, then we might take a discount.
I got a place. I got a place that if something ever happens to me and I'm gone, no one will know it. Mickey, good afternoon, sir. Great to see you. I thought that obviously the dramatic ending and just dramatic back and forth of that game. Did you think Russell Wilson still had that in him?
No, not after watching him play the week before.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like I didn't expect it one bit because, the week before, boy, first sign of trouble, he was tucking the ball and running. And he didn't want to get hit. And then all of a sudden, maybe they got an idea of what the Cowboys defense was doing after watching them in the first game and said, okay, I don't know about those cornerbacks. We're going to test them out early and often. And boy, did they, and wear their butts off. And you know what? After all that went on, I was thinking, they got into overtime and suddenly the Cowboys defense arrived. And I'm thinking, maybe Russell's arm was tired from throwing so many passes.
Man, I mean, I remember even I heard Schottenheimer talk about how he was really good throwing the deep ball. Yeah, that seemed like. But all right, they won the game. Can you imagine had they lost that one or tied at 0-1-1? Yeah, the Chicago game's coming up, but that would have been. You don't want to bury anybody early. That would have been kind of hard, no matter if it was Philadelphia in the first week.
Yeah, and I think the big thing, and I understand the win, the significance of it, not being 0-2 or 0-1-1, but I think the way they did it gives them immense confidence going forward. Because, when you're a new coach, a new head coach, a new staff, you want to earn some credibility. And the way you earn credibility is winning football games. And I think that went a long way to get these guys to totally, and it's not as if they haven't, but totally buy into what's being sold here with a new staff.
Mickey, they still have a long way to go on defense when it comes to rushing the passer, but that's why you bring in a guy like Jadeveon Clowney. And they really need to do that because they've had so many injuries in the secondary. You can't just replenish and hope those guys all get healthy at once. What do you think about the signing of Jadeveon Clowney, who has been kind of a hired gun the last few years of his career and has still been very effective getting 5, 7, 8 sacks for these teams coming in?
Yeah, and he's still a hired gun, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they signed him as being a savior. No one should think that they signed him to replace Micah Parsons, but as an experienced guy that's been around the block in the NFL, a guy that's had actually, this is his 7th team. He never sticks anywhere. But these last 2 seasons in Carolina and Baltimore, he totaled 15 sacks. You just can't go buy those anywhere. So to me, it gives them some depth at defensive end, and maybe more so, it gives them somebody with experience. If you think about it, look at the defensive ends. Other than Dante Fowler, everybody else is like, well, I'm in my 2nd year, or I'm a rookie. Now, Sam Williams is in his 4th year, but he didn't play any football last year. So he had 2 years under his belt. I see no harm in it. And the fact that this is one of the few times, because, they unloaded $21 million in salary cap funds by trading Micah Parsons. And that's not why they traded him. Okay. But they had room under the salary cap to bring in a guy for $3.5 million. And if they're wrong, they can erase it, and that mistake doesn't kill them under the salary cap the way it would have previously when they couldn't take those chances.
Javonte Williams has had a really nice start to the year. He's overcome injuries. He was a a really good player, and then all of a sudden kind of one of those you just thought, there's that running back shelf life. He's gone. Who's the one that kept pushing for him? Because a lot of people probably did not want to touch him.
Yeah, I think the scouting department, I think they did their due diligence and saw a guy for the right price. They didn't have to spend a bundle to bring him in. I think he was trying to reestablish his career as a free agent. And David, to tell you the truth, when we were in training camp, we saw him here during the off season and all the workouts. And I'm looking and I'm going, well, he looks okay. He looks serviceable. Then we get to training camp and I'm going, oh, this guy's got something. He's got a little wiggle to him. He hits the hole. He's got some explosion. Now, they're not tackling, and we didn't get to see him in preseason, right? And so, but he showed the same thing when the tackling started. And I didn't realize he was that physical because, a couple of times he's running people over. He's breaking tackles, running through potential tackles. So, yeah, I think they've got a find here with a guy that's, pretty motivated to prove himself.
Mickey, I was less than enthused about the kind of retread running back room that they had because of this year's draft was particularly rich in them. And I was kind of like, oh, there's all these guys, these college guys I like. I think it would fit the system well. That look, they took Jaden Blue, and that's fine. He's not been active yet, but it troubled me a little bit. But the way I see this running back room working, at least so far, is until they really get going, is this going to be maybe more of a committee thing than Javonte Williams is the bell cow? Because they've been rotating Miles Sanders in, who I thought was like, one of these two dudes is not going to make the team just because they're kind of the same, stage of their career. But both of them have contributed. And outside of Miles Sanders' fumble against Philadelphia, I mean, everything's been pretty positive for him too.
Yeah, and Sanders, you said rotate in. Well, okay, but he hasn't got that much.
Yeah.
Javonte Williams has been the guy. And I think he's handled it awfully well. Now, I'd like to see Jaden Blue get active, but coaches, early in the season, they got to build up a trust for a rookie to come in and play. But yeah, Williams is the guy. Do you realize it's been a while since the Cowboys had back-to-back games that they rushed for 100 yards? This has been a troubling aspect to this team. And as Schottenheimer said, shame on me. I should have gave him another carry so he could have got to 100. But he certainly earned it. And I think they can sink their teeth into him. And then every once in a while, give him a blow. Bring in Miles Sanders until you think you can trust Jaden Blue.
All right, so Dak coming off a year where he didn't play much. Obviously, he had the 23-team year where he was like runner-up as MVP. From what you've seen, and you got drops in there from CD in the first game, but from what you've seen, is it too early to say he's almost at that 23 level?
I said it already, so I'm not going to say it's too early. But I said it from watching him in training camp. I'm going, okay, this is 23 Dak Prescott. Everybody was looking at him. A lot of people, well, he's 32. He's coming off an injury. Those days are gone by. No, he can still play. And I think you're seeing it. As long as that offensive line can do a creditable job. And I don't know that they were great last week, maybe good, but he got sacked 3 times. He had to run out of the pocket 3 times. I think he got hit like 6 or 7 times, and there might have been another 10 pressures. But he performed, and the offense put up 478 yards. And it's not just the total, you guys, but it's when he did it, right? They had to drive after driving to take the lead, like 60-some yards for the touchdown to take the lead. Then they lost it, and he had to drive again at the end with 25 seconds to go to kick the field goal to tie it and send it into overtime. And then they had to drive in overtime with time running out. And I think there was 3 plays before Brandon Aubrey kicked the game winner as a walk-off. So, yeah, that second half, that was Dak Prescott. And I think it showed you what this offense can be with CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Javonte Turpin carving things up in the middle, Jake Ferguson. Yeah, they could be pretty prolific if that offensive line will hold up.
Mickey, I need you to do an investigative piece since you're close to the man and situation. Based on Brandon Aubrey's bio, it says he was born in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm not buying it. I don't think he was born on this planet because 60-yard field goals are nothing to him. I'm waiting for him to just like in one game tell Brian Schottenheimer, like, look, I'm going to kick it from 75 and let's hope for the best. And he's not going to be mad. And he doesn't. It doesn't look like he's kicking like that hard. I think about guys like Sebastian Janikowski and those other powerful kickers before him. When they kick the ball, the whole stadium could feel it. Brandon Aubrey is just like, it looks, I mean, and maybe
effortless.
it's coming. It just looks like his leg is swinging with, minimal effort, and it just goes 65 yards.
I think I heard the pop on the 64-yarder. We're way up in the press box, right?
Yeah.
But you know how people say when they tear their ACL, they hear the pop? Yeah. And I was thinking, I heard that ball. And you know what? I watched him for warm-ups, and he has a routine he goes through, and he everything was right down the middle. And the last kick he takes during warm-ups was 58 yards. And I swear to God, from 58 yards, it hit the net on the wall behind the end zone. So that was another probably 10 yards. So when he was going to go 64, I'm going, okay, I'm good with he can get it there. Now, does he have the composure to kick it straight? Does he have the composure to know that if I miss this, the game's over? And he hit it, as you said, effortlessly, and then do it again with 4 seconds to go in overtime. It's like at some point you're thinking, okay, at some point the pressure, the situation in game is going to get to him, and it happens to all the kickers. Not him. He just nailed it. And I wrote the other day on DallasCowboys.com, he was named the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. I said, you might as well give it to him for the month because no one else is going to do that in one game.
Yeah, Mickey, there's no question. He's like a golfer that's 5'7", that can hit the ball 300 yards off the tee box, etc. Thanks for your time, Chicago, this week. We'll talk about that and moving forward. Next Thursday, I'll remember that you're on the screen when we come to you next time.
Work on that memory like you remember high school games from '83. Huh?
Yeah. That's what happens when you start to get to that point. You don't remember yesterday or even today. Thank you, sir.
I know all about it.
Thank you, Mickey Spagnola, DallasCowboys.com.